On the Wall Perspective. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joseph.
It's boy Yaks yakking now.
Yeah, man. For this next segment, we're going to talk about John Mongrel and the first time that you met him in HMP.
That's a hero, isn't it?
What do they call it? HMP. Her Majesty's Pleasure.
It's hold my pockets.
Hold my
You
pockets.
got a poster of John Mongrel, yo.
Listen, man, we're going to push this narrative that it's Butland behind bars, man. That's what we're doing today, okay? So
It comes up with that shit. That's such an English thing to do.
someone that's never been inside,
Bro,
probably.
of course. What about the violence?
Oh, we haven't even talked about the violence, have we?
What about the drug abuse? What about the officers sleeping with inmates?
Did you see any of that? Officers sleeping with inmates and all that.
Stuff corrupted.
Did you see like corruption firsthand, like?
Oh, bro.
Because
We had a female officer, bro, taking phones out of her bra in the cell, bro. Like, girls really be on the payroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's, bro, life in the flesh.
Yeah.
You get me? And then you put her on an investigation, you don't see her for a bit. And then, after a while, back on the wing.
Back on the wing again,
Back
same
on the
wing.
Back on the wing. Like, bro,
There's so much profit in
bro,
that.
there's a misconception out here, man, about prison. It's, bro, the corruption is scandalous, bro, to say the least.
We obviously touched on like nitties and everything like that.
Yeah.
Was there did that also cause a lot of violence as well, like as far as like nitties not paying back, people not paying back?
Yeah.
What about like debts, prison debts, like when people are in debt in prison?
Yeah, that's principle, isn't it? So, for example, you've run out of tobacco, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, I stack bare tobacco, innit? But you've got your tobacco coming the following week, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously from your canteen sheet, but you've run out.
Yeah.
So you come to me, and it's called double bubble, innit?
Yeah,
Obviously,
double
a lot of people
bubble,
know about it, innit? Obviously, if you don't double bubble, so it's double. You gotta give me double back. You get me? So if I give you a Q, you gotta give me back a half. You get me? So yeah. So obviously that's how it works. So, but with that, obviously, say if that person decides to do a runner now, innit? Obviously, a runner would be him going behind the cell, and then waiting to get me for the gloves. I'll say, oh yeah, whatever. Lie to the gloves, like whatever, he's getting bullied or
His life's in danger.
anything. You get
like
me?
that.
Yeah. But obviously, if you do that for tobacco burn, you're just a tramp.
What's the most creative way that someone's like bumped someone else that you know?
Well, creative. It's not creative about it, bro. It's a man think they can take you for a dickhead, I'm gonna take you for a dickhead. So again, with like obviously, bro, the phones over there, fam, are just expensive. Any phone, bro, you're looking at bills to pay any basic brick phone, bro.
Yeah.
Any Nokia, the latest Nokia out here, that's gonna be worth a couple hundred in jail. It's a basic phone. That's not even a camera phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you're paying close to a bag for a camera phone.
Yeah.
Depending. Chances are it's not even the latest one. Like you're living on edge in jail. You're surrounded by testosterone every day, and you're not going to be in the mood every day.
Yeah.
So, of course, fights are going to happen. Fights are going to break out. Violence is going to happen.
Yeah. It's no surprise
over
the smallest things. The smallest things. Yeah, literally. It's no surprise because you have a bunch of guys. Obviously, everyone's in there. Everyone's dealing with whatever situations they're dealing with at home, and then they're in there as well. Then all this shit just going on around them. So it's no surprise that like the smallest thing can.
That's what I'm saying.
And then especially people just not being in the mood, like just.
And then you got the tit for tat. So if you got pagans, you got pagans. But obviously, if you have beef with other people that are not your pagans, you have beef.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be tit for tat. tit for tat in different prisons. Prisons is a small world.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? It's a small world, so like you got that as well. Things are gonna catch up on you. You know, you get moved to another jail. Like man, that's smiling in your face, bro. You get that with your bag, boom, bag of man run up in your cell, dum. You get a rush, you get chefed up, you get the scrapping. Feel me?
So like when you first went in, right? Like your first, obviously you said that you already knew people that were in there and everything like that. Say for someone that doesn't know people, what would they need to do when they first step in? Would they need to affiliate or like?
The wing is like a jungle.
Yeah. You got the apes, you got the gorillas.
Oh man.
They're just banging on the bars. You got niggas hanging off the bars.
We got gorillas.
Making gorilla sounds and shit. Just beating their chest.
Literally, bro. Literally, man, the wings like a zoo, man. Guys, literally, demon time, gorilla time.
Yeah.
All
It's just
of that,
people tap into like a different mentality.
it's survival.
When you go to
It's survival.
Yeah.
You get me? It's survival. So you're gonna be food. If people can smell fear, innit? You're gonna be a target. Simple as. Yeah, obviously, bro, bullying. Obviously, man, I don't like the bullying thing. Talk about, bro. People get bullied, bro. You know, people get finessed. You get me? I can't say I've been finessed because I haven't. Not saying that it can't happen. You feel me? So yeah, you got to get your clout up. You know, bottom line. But yeah, like I said, bro, you get different type people that shouldn't really be in there who are in there, innit? You know, you can end up in prison for doing anything. You ain't got to necessarily be violent or selling drugs or anything of the sort. So when these people actually mix with actual criminals, bro, it's like they're gonna be pally. They're gonna be, you get me, a beg friend. They're gonna be, but that's the only way to cut and shoe, innit? Because bro, people want to do their time and go, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People want to do their time and go, but obviously you got. So that's
not everyone's mentality.
Come like niggas love jail.
Yeah.
Cause brother, you know. But obviously, if you're involved in it, if you're living a particular life, innit, and you're involved in shit on road, that's gonna follow you in prison.
Yeah. But there's some people that have the same mentality in and out, like, and it's like that's why they kind of thrive in them kind of environments, and I guess the more time you do, then like you're more programmed to it anyway. So you're institutionalized, aren't you?
More like gladiator school.
Gladiator school. It's the front lines.
It's gladiator school.
In there.
It's gladiator school. It's gladiator school. That's what it is.
Yeah. So you were in. So when you first went in, you said that your very first time it was HMP. It was a public prison you were. But then this other time it was the private one that you went into initially. Yeah,
the first prison that I went to when I got sentenced, my last one, last bird. Yeah, I went into a private prison first. Yeah.
What was, so obviously you've experienced both the public and the private prisons. What's the difference, would you say, like between the public and private? Based only on your experience itself, like are they cleaner? Are they nicer? Like are they the same?
They want to portray that private prisons are a solution to prisons getting overcrowded. So, and private prison is driven by profit.
Yeah, but like so like specifically, like when you went into like your experiences in private prisons and public prisons, like do you just not really say if you don't know, would you just not know that you're in a public or a private prison, or like what? You will, how would you know? What's the difference?
It's they're very similar, bro. They're trying to make out like, oh yeah, private prisons, bro. they're very similar to HMPs, bro.
Because it's what like they buy it, and then they contract the services out to like the private company, and then it becomes a private prison. So it gets brought, and then they
private prisons are built by people by private citizens. So they make their money directly from the government.
Mm-hmm.
So the government, if they're not having enough prisoners, so the government have to pay the private citizen like the rent. Prison's a business. The rent of each prisoner. You know what I mean? So that's how it works.
Yeah. So
yeah. So obviously, but with a private prison, for example, the one that I was in, the canteen sheet, where you can buy goods from the outside, basically, was shit. You know, at HMP you got more of a variety.
This is what I wanted to get into. So there's more variety on the food, and then like so. Say in the private prison, what kind of
are usually remand prisons as well. So people are
explain that.
Are remand, isn't it? So remand, so obviously you're basically waiting in prison until you can appear in a court and fight your case.
Yeah.
If you don't get bail. So that's that, you get me. So obviously that's what private prisons, most of them are like. So they got people coming in and out. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So that's money. At the end of the day, prisons make money from people filling up these cells. You know, it's like if you start a hotel, you start a hotel so you can have occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
Like prisons run the same way.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the canteen sheet and everything like that, like what kind of thing on private? The main thing, like what kind of companies basically are they using? Who are their suppliers for like food and things like that? Like this is what I always wonder, because people do say a lot that public and private prisons, there's a big difference between them, but you're saying that there's not really much of a difference, and they portray it as if there's a big difference between the two. And so, is there a lot of differences in the type of food that they feed you when you're in public or private, or is it just it's different depending on what prison you're at?
The food as well was shit.
In the private prison?
In private prison. Yeah. In general, obviously, prisoners get shit food anyway.
Yeah.
But the private prisons, it was dead surgery.
Yeah.
You get me? Dead canteen sheet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, because of the remand prisoners as well, so it's not really catered to a prisoner like that.
Yeah.
It's all driven by profit.
Yeah.
And they got a duty of care. That's the thing. At the end of the day, officers have a duty of care.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like with the like I said, once the prison is managed by the private companies and everything like that.
Yeah. So
they have to meet a quota to the government, and if they don't meet that quota, then it gets handed back to them. Because it's only a contract. I think it's like 25 years, and then it's no longer a private prison anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because they get stipends, innit?
Yeah.
Private prisons, innit? So that's an allowance they get for per prisoner, or for housing a certain amount of prisons, innit?
Yeah.
So for example, if it costs a private prison, they get that allowance of £200 per day to keep a prisoner. In that private prison, at that 200, they might spend £140 of that money. So how much is there's a cut there? They're cutting costs. Yeah. So there's a £60 profit right there.
Yeah.
So they do that for each prisoner.
Yeah, times it by how many you get, like what,
how many
prisoners do they have in the actual
how many
prisons?
This is how they
serious profit, yeah.
And shareholders are.
And it's not only that. Like, so what work do you do when you're there?
This is what people have to understand about a private prison. That's how it functions.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it functions.
And then talk about with the food, not food, but the work that you have to carry out when you're in there as well, like to keep people occupied.
Right, exactly. Because as a prisoner, you're not eligible for the national minimum wage, and you can work, or you go education, and obviously you get money for going to education.
Yeah.
Not as much as you working. And you make somewhere between £15 to £20 a week.
Yeah. What kind of jobs? Like, what jobs did you do? What jobs did you do?
A week.
That's fucked. But like, what jobs did you do? For like, what kind of things are you doing?
So when I was in this prison called High Point.
High Point's London, isn't it?
High Point. No, it's outside London. It's towards
outside.
Norwich. Yeah, it's a London local, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they send all the bangers to this place, innit? Hate High Point Gladiator School. Yeah. Niggas were getting airlifted.
Yeah, it's like one of the most violent ones, High Point, isn't it?
Yeah, they call it Knife Point.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the nickname. Yeah. So yeah, obviously in that so there was a workshop in it, a workshop where that's basically your work, where you cut up clothes, and then like you stack it up in like a dumpster in it. Basically, these clothes get sent off and get turned into cloths.
Okay, so it's all clothes that you go
yeah,
through,
it's almost like clothes that rich people don't want anymore.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a lot of designer stuff. Obviously, prisoners like they balls clothes off and that they wear it on the wing as well, and then they pat you down to make sure that you haven't stolen stuff. But you find decent stuff there, innit? So it's like jailhouse plantation is what I call it. This is slavery, bro. So and then that gets sent off and it gets turned into cloths. So and a prisoner doesn't qualify for the national minimum wage. So and you're earning between £15 to £20 a week.
Are there any jobs that you get transferable skills from, like in there?
No,
are there some better jobs? What's the best job you can get when you what's the ideal?
You can get servery. Working on the servery. Is good money. I never worked in the servery. Gym orderly. People that have got long sentences, especially, they work towards.
Is it behaviour as well? Like if you have good behaviour, you get better jobs, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Is it pay better?
You
move
up, then you got basic, standard, enhanced. Enhanced is what you get. You get more of an allowance to spend. You get better jobs. So eventually,
what's the best?
Eventually, you'll get more than £20 a week if you've got a certain job. A fucking week, and you got to spend. You got to buy bare shit on that canteen.
Let's talk about
on the other hand, bro, it teaches you how to manage with near enough nothing, bruv.
Yeah.
You see, when you're on road, you're blowing £20 on fucking. When you go on a night out, bro, how much are you spending?
Yeah.
But you've got £20 fucking pounds to survive on for the week. You've got to get your oats, milk, peanut butter, just necessities.
So for basic necessities, you have to pay for them out of your own pocket, instead of like what gets provided to you and what doesn't get provided to you.
You get jail food, which is shit. So in the canteen, you can order mackerel, noodles.
What's in the jail food? What's the jail food? What do they give you?
That's Smarty. You can order a lot of stuff that black people eat, obviously, because they've got a high rate of usually black people in their prisons.
Yeah.
So they got.
So they cater to that.
You got right. Obviously, it's all money. Mm-hmm. It's all the fucking tax. Can you imagine? Like, it's ridiculous. All these companies and agencies that provide a service to the prison, bro. There's so much fucking money that people are making out here, bro. Like, it's mad. It's actually crazy, cause.
Yeah, it is, because there's loads of companies that look after these. I was looking at the Sodexo, whatever, the one that looks after, is it the Peterborough? Peterborough, HMP Peterborough. Yeah, they look after them, or they manage it and everything like that.
Yeah.
They're turning like billions in profit, bro. But they manage a couple other prisons. It's like G4S. I was surprised G4S manages it. It's like it's three companies that they actually look after.
That's what I'm saying. In the private, you got the money to monopolize, bro.
Yeah. Because how do you even get a contract for, like, if you want to run a prison, like, how would you even get a contract to be able to run it?
this is.
Can you
what-
imagine the type
Yeah.
of stuff? You know how
No,
hard it is
so-
to get planning permissions in itself for a house that you brought for you to like build on it. To actually now you want to manage a private. You know how difficult it would be to get into that in the first place.
100%. And there's more violence in private prisons. Why is that? Because they're understaffed. They're trying to cut costs everywhere they can.
Yeah. What kind of prisoners go to like? Obviously, you said that you don't really know what prison you're gonna go to. You said that it's a lot of in certain prisons.
Obviously, where you get sentenced in it, you go to the nearest
place
prison
to
yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
it could be private, it could be
And
public.
then this is what I'm saying. So if you don't live in London, and you like people are trying to get back into London, it's hard to get a move back to London. Like,
What excuses
play
can you
ball,
give to
got-
try and move? What are the main excuses that people give to try and move? Is this where you gotta get your Denzel on? You gotta
Whoa, niggas, hey, bro, my life's in jeopardy. I ain't done this, but
yeah, people say
violence
that.
out. You get
Okay,
me?
yeah.
Obviously, but if you're involved in a gang member and that, bro, are you mad? Do you think, cuz a lot of serious man on the roads that bust their thing off of that, and they're busting their gun and that, bro, and they got to go to certain prisons and they're getting, bro, asked, like, okay, where you from? Like, what gang are you a part of? And people are disclosing this, because, like I said, the police officers, the officers, prison officers have got a duty of care at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're gonna try and bunch people together, like with like say if you're affiliated with XYZ, won't they try to put you on the wing with your people or no?
No,
Because they don't want to put you on the wing with people that you're
gonna
that
get
have
savaged
people.
by. Yeah, bro. They got intel. They know.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, cause you obviously get rappers in that screaming gang. You get me? When they go to jail, bro, they're riding bang up. Now you're real killers and real thugs. You get me? So yeah, so a lot of real serious man out here, bro. Trust me, it's not what you people think. You get me? Because when you're in jail, you ain't got your gun. You ain't got your gun. It's different.
It's all fighting, isn't it? It's all
Yeah,
fighting, slicing.